G'day crew, and welcome to another video. I said that this video is going to be out on the water, and it is. I had a magic time. Went out for an overnighter. Couldn't have been better. Everything just worked for me. Unfortunately, I've come down with a dose of COVID since I got back, so that's slowing down the editing of it. I think I'll get about half of it done in time to put up this weekend, and I'll finish the other half next weekend. Got to say though, that I know everyone's affected differently by COVID, but I've had flus that are a lot worse. It's made me tired and a bit achy, but geez, I've been worse with just an ordinary flu. So it's sort of just bad enough to keep me from, editing full time. I've got to put it aside and have a bit of a rest and come back to it, but we'll get half of it up this weekend and the other half next weekend. I'm a little bit late at getting away, and we've got enough light for you to see me setting up the crab pot, so I'll just run through that first.
I've got my mullets cut in half. That's all the juice out of the gut cavity. Attracts the crabs. A bit of crab burley in the bucket in the little bottles for sponges. Get one prop baited. Oh, don't forget to put your bottle in there with it. Open.
And make sure the holes are facing up. You don't want the burley leaking out all over your boat.
Lay the rope out on the floor. I don't trust it to come undone properly if it's just coiled. I have to lay it out and it's ready. Slow down a little bit to drop it off. Don't need to be going too fast. Alrighty, that'll do. 6.1 metres, low tide. Just watch out you don't get your feet tangled in the rope, because that'll drag you overboard. And of course, if you're using a GPS system, make sure you get a mark in on it. Right, this one's down. And that's all there is to it, just be the same again for the others.
A few episodes back I did a video of my first attempt to go and catch some calamari. I was new to calamari fishing, and stupidly I tried a new rig with it, just something I thought would work, and it didn't. It was a bit of a disaster. I gave up after a short while. Come back to it this time, still don't know what I'm doing, but this time I'm trying a very traditional rig that Spiro and everyone else seems to be using. Just a normal squid jig with a number 4 ball sinker on top of it, and just learning as I go. Trying different techniques for jigging it. Stuck one in the rod holder to see if that would work. It didn't. Got off to a slow start, but by the end I was pretty happy with the results.
Got one in the rod holder, and just give one a little bit of a jig off the bottom, let it sink back down slowly. Oh, something showed a little bit of interest just then. Oh. Okay, so this is what I've heard they do. They grab the centre of the squid jig and they don't get the barbs. I've heard a couple of people say you have to strike hard to get the barbs into them. Give that a bit of a wind, just make sure it stays off the bottom. I might have one this time. Yes. Whoa, that was a good way to rink. Hope that's all. I needed to get him. Oh, should have had him straight in that bucket instead of mucking around. Oh, that was my fault. I made a mess of the bait. Alright, well, I have to clean that up, but I'll get this back down first. Might do some good while I'm playing around. Yeah, bloody yeah. Well, that was a quick lesson on how to knock the handles calamari. I think next time I'll get the landing net out and leave him off the bait until he's finished inking, and get him straight into the bucket before he can do any damage. Jeez. I just caught another one. I thought I had the camera on, but I didn't. I did better this time. I put him in the net and let him ink out in the net. I still got a bit on the bait, but it wasn't nearly as bad as last time. See if we can get a third one. I like to get a few because I wouldn't mind using a couple for bait and keeping some to go home and eat. Oh, it's not quite. Point out that that solid line going along there on the Furuno is one of the jigs, one of the squid jigs. You can see it on the hummingbird, but it's very faint on the hummingbird, which is a little bit surprising because the hummingbird's working at a much higher frequency than the Furuno. I would have thought it would pull it up better, but it's not. And that is very interesting. The Furuno does pick up the fish a lot better, I've found, but I'm just surprised that it shows up that jig so well. And just to remove all doubt, I just lifted that up so you can see it there. The Furuno picked it up beautifully. So it shows a pretty big mark for a smallish jig, which is quite good to know. Oh, something bit that, like a fish. It wasn't a calamari bite. Yeah, there's a fish down there having a go. Third one of the day. Okay, now do your inking, but not pointing at the bait, please. I think you might be out of ink. Okay, we'll bring you in then. There we go. There we go. Got you off. And no ink. Well, I'm getting better at this. Oh, a little bit on the bait, but next to none compared to what I've been getting. And it looks like today at least I've got to work the rod because I'm not getting anything on the rod holder one. Now that could be that I've got a different colour jig on, or it could be that they like the motion. In any event, I'm getting them on the one I'm holding. I might have a go at holding 2 rods at a time, see what happens. I just got my 4th calamari and I think I had the camera off again. Oh dear. I've got to turn it off because I haven't got enough batteries to keep it on 24/7. So I've got to turn it off in between getting them, and sometimes I think I have a finger failure getting it back on. Oh no, he let go. Oh, okay. Put another mark here, but I'm getting them on the day.
While I'm out on the water, I'll drop marks all over the place while I'm fishing or assessing an area. At the end of the day, I might delete most of them or even all of them. I'll try and explain the method of this a little bit later when I talk about finding the fishing spot I used that night. I'm not sure whether that'll make it into this video or the next one, but some of you might find that interesting. It's a method that works well for me.
Okay, go. Oh. Okay, got you this time. Surely. Oh, don't you dare wink. Oh, I got another one, followed him up.
I can't believe the camera battery failed at this point. This was going to be the highlight of the video. I was so pleased with getting this shot. It didn't occur to me that the battery might have failed. That calamari that followed this one in, the jig came out in the net, so I picked the jig up and I just dropped it into the water beside the calamari, and the second one took it. I got it in the net as well. Couldn't believe it. How lucky can you be? But unfortunately, the battery failed. Like, I knew I had to replace the battery afterwards, but I didn't realise when it had failed. So gutted about that. It happened right up near the surface of the water, and it was a really good shot. Never mind, these things happen. There might be another opportunity one day.
One. Oh, and that's fine. He's a big one. I'm getting a few big ones. Whoa, that came out. Okay. Oh, I just need to get that out of the net. Okay. Now see if we can upset him enough to get all his ink out. Every time I think he's thinking about getting him in, drops a little bit of ink. Must be nearly out of it, I'd say. Come on, let go. Oh! Got me pants that time. That was a bit vindictive of you.
It does take a bit of time to jiggle it up and down inside the net off the boat to get rid of all the ink, but it takes a lot longer to clean the boat up afterwards. And I can't stand leaving it there to soak into the gel coat, so I have to clean it up. This is quicker to try and get rid of most of the ink first.
Obviously, I either like the dark lure or the movement. There's nothing on this other one. Yep, on him again. Okay. Good. Right, now upset you enough, think. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, it got me again. Oh, they're vindictive. Okay, on again. Oh, missed him. Actually, what happened there? Got lost. Whatever it was, took it. Oh, I'll put the light jig on it and see if that does any good. If I jig with this one for a little while, that will at least tell us whether it was the colour or the movement. Okay, it's a movement, because I got one on this one fairly quickly. Yeah, what I want you to do is point the other way while I upset you. Oh, look at the colour change. Oh, you're still inked. Hey, I got another one. Oops, a daisy. Come on, there you go. Don't you ink me, don't you ink me. Oh dear. There we go. Right, point away. Let's upset you. You see the colour change as he gets upset. I think this guy's saving some for me so he can squirt me when he comes on board. Alright, well if that's not upset you enough to squirt, I think you might be out of it enough to put you in the bucket. Come on, let go. Let go. Oh, I knew you were going to do that, you. Yep, on him. Oh, good on you, shot yourself right back into that. Oh, you're a nice big one. Now let's just unhook you there. And then let's get you all angry. But facing the other way while we do it, eh? If you do squirt, we'll catch it. In the meantime, I'll go and get another one of your mates. Okay, got you this time. Oh, good. That's it. That's it. Now, you let go of that jig? No, you won't. Alright. Oh, well, that upset him. Or her, as the case may be. I was worried that losing that dark jig might have put an end to the day, but it doesn't seem to have bothered it. At least today it's movement, not colour. Oh, he's a nice big calamari. Give him that. Oh, okay, got you in the. Let's get my. See if I can get my jig back. Yep, okay. Still too slow to get that in. This rate I'm going to run out of clean bait rags. Oh, let go. Patch of them here. Oh yeah. Here we go. Getting better at this. Oh, what's that? What have I got here? Oh, gee. How's that? You got that hooked on around you, didn't you? Just goes to show I've probably got my pots in a bit shallow still. I'll give you a measure, but I think you're going to be legal. Alright, do it this way then. You hang on to the net and I'll measure you. Oh yes, you're legal. A calamari and crab. Can't argue with that. You got another? Yep, I have. Oh, there'll be plenty of bait for the night. It won't be alive though, because I forgot my bloody bait bucket. Oh, there's another double, have we? I wonder if I can get this one off and get that lure back out. Didn't work this time. He took off. Oh yeah. Okay. Now let's get you dead straight away. And put you in there for a feed.
You can see here my drift lines. I was drifting about 1.4 kilometres from where I started. A lot of my drifts were nearly a kilometre long. I was picking up calamari all along the drift, so I just kept going until I stopped getting bites or run into a bit of a patch of weed. And just to be clear, I'm just flashing an outline around the actual drift lines, not where I was dropping the pots, just off Empire Point. Probably about 8-9 metres of water, somewhere in that area. And of course it depends on the wind and tide which direction you're going to drift, but the direction I had I was pretty happy with, kept me in a constant depth and was working well.
I was planning to come back and check these this evening, but as soon as I've been fishing for calamari and midday, I thought I'd give them a check now and just see what's happening. Yep, I've got something in it. Is that one of those crabs that I got the other day? A couple of them. It's the Jenny, that one. That's one of the ones I got the other day, and he's too small to worry about. Right, I think I'll move these a little bit deeper. Surface, I'm not sure why, but we'd best wind it in and find out. Might have caught a grinner. Hold the rod really high and try and keep it on the surface so I can wind it in quickly. Yep, that's what it is, grinner.
And I'm still trying hard body trolling. Couldn't say that I was really dedicated to it this time. The water was so calm and beautiful. I was happy just to put the lures out and troll around at slow speed. Did get some excitement, caught a few grinners. When the drag started flying off, that was a bit exciting until I found out what it was. But I won't give up on the hard body trolling. I will get a little bit more determined to do it properly at some point, but I was just enjoying the weekend this time. The main aim was to go and get some snapper in the dusk and dawn bite periods, and the calamari, some of that to eat, some of it for bait. And of course the grinners, I've discovered that nothing else eats them, but crabs don't mind them, so they go in the crab pot now. Editing this video has been quite a sobering experience. I came back thinking that I'd had a perfect weekend, or a perfect 2 days, it wasn't a weekend, out on the water, and everything had just gone right. I had a good time fishing. I thought I had some really great video, and I have got the video, but the most exciting bits that happened while I was out there didn't get recorded. Had a number of problems. The camera on the dash somehow got flipped over to record still images instead of video. The hat cam ran out of battery when I got the double up on the squid. And for some reason the hat cam didn't record the big hookup I got on trolling. It must have been a finger failure on my part, that one. But that was really exciting. The drag was flying. And I pulled back on the power and started to reel it in. At first I thought maybe I snagged, but I looked at the depth and I thought, no way that snagged. And anyway, I was making some ground on it, bringing some line in. I eventually saw it come to the surface. It was a turtle. And I thought, well, you're not going to keep my brand new lure. I'm going to try and get you to the boat, and I'll lift you up, get the pliers and get that out and toss you back overboard. Yeah, well, that was the plan. And the reason I thought I could do that was I was getting line on him. If he'd been a big turtle, I didn't think I was going to get any line on him. I've done that in the past. Anyway, I got him up close to the boat where I could see him. He was huge. There was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to lift him into the boat. And he took one look at me in the boat and decided he didn't want to be around us either and took off again. So I just locked up the drag and let him break it off, and my brand new lure, the first time I was using it, gone. And I didn't even get the video of it. Now, the weekend wasn't as perfect as I thought, but it was still good. While I was trolling the hard bodies, I ended up over at Gate Island, and while I was going around there I saw a couple of schools of fish on the sounder, so I decided that I'd put the trolling gear away and just try dropping a fresh calamari down on them, or a fresh calamari head down on them, and see if I could pick something up there. A decent shows on the sounder, and by the time I'd packed my gear up and circled around, I was just getting the lines ready, and of course the fairy came along beeping his horn, wanting two of us that were in that area to move out of his way, which of course you had to. He's a bigger boat, so I moved out of his way, and then I circled back in to have another go at it, see if they were still there after he'd passed. Now this you can see on the sounder now is the fairy's wash. He'd just gone past and I cut across behind him to try and get to where I was fishing, and this is the turbulence from his propellers. You can see what it's doing to the sounder. You can't read anything through that turbulence. As soon as you get out of it, it all comes good again. But if you see that and you've gone across someone's wash, even a small boat will give some sort of turbulence. You can cut across your own wash and see it as well. So anyway, just so you're aware, this is what the turbulence in the water looks like. At least one of the schools was still there. It still looked all right, so I decided to try and have a drop down on it. As it turned out, that was easier said than done. The current was running a little bit harder than I expected. I had to end up putting some sinkers on. I should have put them in coated down in spot lock, but I didn't. I just tried drifting it because I only wanted a short drift through it. And I hadn't been at it for very long when another fairy came along and I got chased away, and I just thought, pack it in, go back to trolling. It was just too hard to fish there. Like back in the day when I used to do well there was, I think, only one or at most two fairies running. You had plenty of time to fish in between them and just kept an eye out for them. But now, I think there's half a dozen fairies running. They're going through there all the time. I don't know how anyone can fish on that corner now. Anyway, I went back to trolling. It's just a short clip of dropping the calamari head down, trying to get onto that school. As I say, I didn't get long to fish it before another fairy came along, and didn't do any good.
Right, I'll get this in because I don't think it's going down. The bait's too big. I'll put a click sinker on it. It's a small one because I only want it to go down real slow. I'll see how that goes. Put another one on if it doesn't go down fast enough for me. Alright, let's try that. See how that, I think it might. That might do. Hey, let's go. We've got something, have we? Oh, I think I might have. Be another grinner again. Probably. See in a minute what it is. Yeah, that'll be a grinner for sure. That's the fourth grinner, one for each pot, that'll do. Travis didn't mind them last time. Half a grinner, I think. Maybe a bigger grinner, fighting a bit more, but he's still up on the top, so I'm thinking grinner. No, not a grinner. What is he? He's got off, that's what he is. I think that was a little squire. Even if it hadn't have been legal, it would have been nice to get him on board. Being the first one. Oh well, never mind. Coming together slowly. No need to measure you, but I will. Yeah, okay, well I knew there'd be no need to measure you. Handful. But what are jennies? What have we got in here? What the hell have we got in here? Oh, a couple of cuttlefish. You'll make good bait. Where's your mate? Up here. You also make good bait. I think you're too small. Yep. Oh, no. No, you're not. It's a 7.
I'm going to wrap the video up at this point. It's long enough and I need to get it finished now or I'm not going to be able to process it in time to upload it on the weekend. I didn't get to finish the first day, but I'll cover that and the following day in the next video next week. I'll show you how I scouted out the area for the dusk fishing time. I can't really show you much of the catching because it was too dark to photograph, but I did take some photographs of the fish I caught. And then of course I caught a couple in the morning and all in all had a good time. If you go out in the water with your main goal of catching a fish, you're going to come home disappointed most of the time. But if you go out in the water with your main goal to enjoy yourself and the fish are a bonus, then pretty much every time you go out you're going to have a ball. So I'll leave you with that thought. Until next time, good fishing.